DayZ. Ultimately, it's a game of decisions. And yesterday's decisions led us on a 6-hour journey just to find a little bit of food. About the equivalent of a number 5 from McDonald's. Was it worth it? I don't know. But ultimately, that's the game. Every decision brings you down a new path. And yesterday's path brought us right back home from the edge of death and the brink of starvation. And we have only one goal today, and that was to make a wall. Because for some reason I decided I was going to hole up in this little town and waste my energy and time building a wall. Why? I don't know. It's my game. It's my journey. And this is day 2 in Kambiwobo. So welcome again to the Hitchhiker's Guide to Chernarus. Kambiwobo, day 2. Now, like I was saying, this game is ultimately a game of decision making. Those decisions are determined by priorities. And your priorities are determined by a number of factors. Day 1, priority is food. Because day 1, you need to eat. If you don't have food, you're not going to last more than an hour or two. And the journey is all about getting yourself through that first day. Now, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. The journey to finding food on the first day and getting yourself situated could be as simple as walking into the first house you see and finding 4 cans of food or a bottle of water, finding a dead body. There's a million things that can happen, and those things will ultimately determine your next move. Now, yesterday we were on the search for food. That was a 6-hour journey for me. And during that time, I was able to find all kinds of little things, bits and bobs here and there. And they all add up to future decisions. There are things that you do that you don't even know they're going to pay off until later. And so, like I said, priorities and decisions and goals. So today, we have the tertiary goal of building a wall. Building a wall has nothing to do with our survival. It's just something I want to do while I'm also playing the game. Having a goal is how you get through the game. And having a goal is another factor in your decision making. So our goal is to build a wall. And in order to build a wall, we're going to need a fence kit. And in order to make a fence kit, we're going to need 2 sticks and a rope. And so our decisions from now on are going to be determined by what we find and what we need until we get that wall built. Now, obviously, along the way, I'll be finding little bits of food here and there and other pieces that'll work into the equation at some future point. And that is another aspect of the game you always got to keep in mind, is what pieces you're going to need for future usage. This determines what you carry on you. This determines what you pick up and what you leave behind. And it's ultimately a pretty big part of the game and your experience and decision making. So I guess keep in mind the fundamentals, Food, number 1. Food and water, priority number 1. Everything else is kind of in order of importance. Like today, I didn't mention it yet, but we're going to need shoes. Your shoes are the second most important thing you're going to need to replace in this game, in my opinion. It's food first. Get yourself, situated so you're not going to die of starvation. And then just know that your shoes are going to be ruined soon. So figure that out. And there's options there too, such as cutting up rags and having rags on hand so that you can make foot wrappings when your shoes do break in case you don't find shoes. I always find shoes to be a blessing and a curse. They always break when you're not thinking about them, so it's best to always think about them. They also take up a lot of space, so you don't really want to pick them up often because it takes up a lot of space. So, management, decisions, priorities. That's the name of the game. Everything else is just pixels. And with that in mind, we went around searching our daily search for everything we could scrap up in this stupid little town called Kambiwobo. Oh, Kambiwobo. Love it and hate it. On official servers, Kambiwobo is the home of hellacious craziness. I've never been to Kambiwobo on any server that was populated and there wasn't some craziness going on. Usually there's a pile of dead bodies in front of the police station and 13 little kids trolling everybody who comes through town. It's a great troll town. It's a great little spot to just hide, duck and cover, take angles. But we're not here for that. We're here to get loaded up. So on we go, testing our skills and almost getting killed. Now, seeing that sticks are easier to pick up than your mom after her first divorce, we don't have a problem there. Our issue is going to be rope. Now, rope you can either make with guts, so if we could kill another player, oh, that's not going to happen, or a giant animal like a pig or a deer, which could happen, or we find a bunch of rags and sew them together. We can make rope in a couple different ways, or if we get really lucky, we could just find rope, but that usually doesn't happen. So far, we've been pretty not lucky. Like I said, unless you change your settings for loot, the vanilla settings are pretty basic, man. You're not getting any. The only benefit to having nobody else on a server is just that the loot. Well, actually, it's not a benefit. The loot gets cycled better when there are people picking it up, putting it down, hoarding it, and all that, taking it out of the loot economy. But I don't have that going on really, so you're getting what you get. And so far it's been pretty, lackluster. I'm not getting over inundated with good loot, so off to find some rope, maybe some more food, maybe some shoes. We're gonna need some shoes. That's gonna be a problem too. Otherwise, that's the goal. Sidebar, I suck at fighting zombies, so I have to relearn the flow. There is a flow. You definitely have to block now, and zombies suck. I don't know if I suck more or if they suck more, but between the both of us, it's a suck fest. It's really important that you aim for the head. It actually matters that you aim for the head when you're swinging. I'm really bad at it. I have really bad thumb control when it comes to doing things, but yeah, zombies suck. And with that, we were back to work looking for the supplies we needed. This town is small, but it can have the loot you need. Everything's contextual and can spawn in areas that it would spawn in normally, and this town has all of the typical areas you would need. As well as every time I start a session, I do a reset on the server so that everything is refreshed and removed that needs to be removed. And while I can't seem to find a headshot today, I am getting lucky in finding enough rags in order to make rope. So we might just get this fence kit after all. Side note, if you don't believe in DayZ God, then I ask you this. Explain this to me. That's right. DayZ God strikes again with another blessing. Let's go back to the crib and put down that wall kit. And after a little over an hour of searching every nook, cranny, and cubby hole in that town, we were rewarded with little more than some snacks, some rags, and the one rope we needed to create our fence kit. Now, where to place it? Oh, maybe in front of the door. Placement is very important. For a building like this, it's pretty simple. You got 2 doorways to block and a couple little window holes to block. Now, after we place our kit, we need 2 logs. That's right, big old fat logs. And we can get those right out here. No problem, but as you'll see here in a second, I forgot something, guys. So after you attach your logs, you need a shovel. A shovel to build the base. So we know what we gotta do next. Get a shovel. But first, since I'm a sinner and I can't let anything go to waste, we gotta eat the rest of this unknown food and play a game of Date with Destiny. Oh, fuck a duck. See, now it's raining. That's why you don't eat the mystery food. It's a sin, and the DayZ god has cursed me. Now, you might be asking yourself, why did you eat the mystery food when you have all this glorious food to eat? Well, it's a survival thing. You know, I don't want to let the last of it waste. It didn't kill me before, so I ate it. What's the big deal? Look at that, see? Ate some normal food and now the rain cleared up. So now we have more priority decision-making balancing issues because it's raining, and do we want to risk getting wet while we look for the shovel? And where are we going to look for the shovel at? That's another question. I'm just going to take a nap. Bye. Good night. Well, that didn't work. So, what are we going to do about this? I guess I'm going to build a fire so I can stay dry. Oh, that didn't work either. There's apparently an issue with lighting fires inside buildings, and I wasn't up to code, I guess. So, we're going to need to look for a place that could have shovels. Now, we could go back to the town that we looked at yesterday, but I discovered there's this little island, well, not little, but there's an island right next to us that I don't think it was there before. I believe that was in a different location and they moved it since the last time I played. But if you look, it's got a castle on it, and castles actually can spawn shovels. Shovels are basically like industrial and sheds and barns. So it might be worth going and checking out the island. It looks like there's some buildings. There's a lighthouse. Lighthouses can also have shovels last time I checked. So I think we're going to go ahead and do some exploring. Given that the weather sucks, I think I'm just going to, I don't know, pray to the gods of DayZ that we get a little exploration weather. Nope. All right. At least it went down to a drill. Ah, there we go. A nice overcast, past rainy day. Son of a bitch. Well, we're getting wet whether we want to or not, because we got to swim over to that island. But the only building I haven't searched today is the police station, and we got to fill up on some water before we go over to a big old adventure like that. So let's stop at the police station, see if we can't get lucky and fill up on some water and head over to that island. Well, we got some new pants out of the deal. A Glock mag, that's an upgrade. And this nice rusty water here. So with that, it looks like the weather's cleared up. We can run over to the island and start our adventure that I keep talking about. This is the adventure, guys. This is it. Look at all this beautiful adventure before us. Anyway, off to the swimming part. Wouldn't you know it, I stopped to enjoy one of nature's miracles, and I heard an old familiar sound. Bitch! Bitch, come and get me! That's right, yesterday's nemesis, the mystery chicken. He came back, and today, we're gonna catch him. Now, where are you, you son of a bitch? Well, do you have any last words? Peacock, why am I here? Just to be breaded and fried, huh? Then, of course, after waiting 45 minutes like Mommy's little good boy, we got to swimming. Now, for all you newbies out there, there's a few things you might want to consider when swimming. First of all, energy consumed. Second of all, a lot of shit's going to get wet, so be prepared for that. And third of all, you're going to get really cold. So, remember, when you're swimming, you got to get dry, you got to get warm, and you might ruin some of your stuff. So, keep that in mind. Be prepared to make a fire, to wring out your clothes, and to just be able to survive making the journey itself. So after doing all of that, we got to running up that hill, running to that castle, running up that hill. I'll go ahead and quit that right now. Let's explore this castle, shall we? Now, there's a variety of items that are, I wouldn't say exclusive, but basically you want to go to the castle for things that are like in a hunting lodge, in camping areas. The Mosin can spawn at the top of castles often or around them. Some of them have little gift shops, and there is usually a pretty large amount of zombies around, so you want to be cautious of that. But otherwise, I mean, it's a great loot spot when there is loot. Now, here's something I don't remember. There's a nice little pub over here. That might be a new addition since one of the previous updates. Pubs are great. We're going to go in and check it for some good old loot. One thing that is pretty specific to castles is obviously knight's armor. There's pretty much a whole set of knight's armor now. The helmet, the chainmail, the pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put this on for fashion, because if you know me, I love fashion. DayZ is a balance sometimes. You want to look cool, right? So we're going to put on the helmet and... oh, fuck that. I'm not doing that. Never mind. We don't have to look that cool, guys. Sorry, I'm not dealing with those eye holes. So we'll leave old Solaire here to stare at the eternal bonfire of shame and go back to exploring the old castle, shall we? Now here's something that's both fashion and function. Heck yeah, we'll wear this for sure. Another little pro tip for the newbies here. If you're in a castle, always look under these stairs. You never know what you might find. And always use a vicinity so you can see clearly. Not only is this castle pretty small, most of it's actually ruins. There weren't too many loot spots, to be honest, on this one. I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest, unless you got lucky on the loot spawn. Basically, it was a lot of empty space, the two little shops, the one little staircase, and a bunch of empty space. However, I did notice there was a radio tower nearby, and a radio tower has a few different options as far as loot spawns, including like industrial, as well as that shovel I'm looking for. And what's our reward for this 3.5 minute climb? Nothing but a gorgeous view. Look at that stunning view. Ah, the castle ruins. Ruined my life. Ruined my day. We didn't find what we needed. We wasted a lot of time and energy. We haven't explored the entire island yet. There's plenty of that to go. But, like, so far, wasted trip. And that's just how it goes sometimes, you know? I'd say a good 50-50 chance that everything you do is going to be a waste of time. At least in DayZ. So after 10 more minutes of fruitless walking around the island, I see this. A nice little coastal village on the side of the island over here. Well, if there's going to be anywhere that we get lucky, it's going to be in this house by the ocean. And being that this is only day 2, we just got a really big score here in storage space. It's a dry backpack. The dry sack backpack is huge and pretty much keeps things dry as long as you don't break it. Also, a couple houses, nothing in them, but we could take this opportunity to get some water. Water tip for the newbies. It's faster to drink water out of a container than it is to drink the water straight from the pump. So it's advisable to fill up your container, drink from the container, fill the container. The first thing I did was dump out the container because you never want the water that was already in there. If you pick up any container of water, do not drink that container of water unless you are absolutely desperate and you want to get sick and die, or you have the ability to clean it with chlorine tablets. Now that we're nice and hydrated and feeling good, son of a bitch, why am I bleeding? I'll tell you why. My shoes. I ruined my shoes. Remember those shoes we were talking about earlier? Well, shoes become a priority because when they break, you start bleeding. And when you start bleeding, it becomes a problem. Now, lucky for me, I had a couple extra rags. And also lucky for me, they added an update not too long ago that allows you to use rags to make hand wraps as well as shoes. So I was able to temporarily fix the problem. Now, if I'm not mistaken, a lighthouse here can spawn anything from shoes, clothes, and small ammo to even, I believe, a shovel. So it might be worth going up for almost any of the things that we need right now. However, it's always a long shot. On second thought, fuck these stupid fucking lighthouses. They fucking suck. Don't bother going up and down them. It's a waste of fucking time. And well, here's something new. Crossbow bolt implies the existence of a crossbow. That's how long it's been since I've played. There's a crossbow in this game now? Question mark. New side quest? Question mark. Like a scrawny nerd in the gym, the gains are small. But it's small victories that build the way up, keep us going. So on we trek the island. We're running out of places to explore. It seems like I've hit pretty much everything I can. If you see me picking up road flares and wondering why, it's because road flares are free fire starters at this point. I don't usually use them at night, but I will be needing to start fires, and a road flare is a good way to start a free fire without needing to make a hand drill or need matches or a lighter. So there you go. Just searching boats, searching the rest of this island. I don't think there's much left on here to explore, but whatever's left, we'll get to it. So far, the rest of the island had appeared to be nothing more than a bunch of ruins left over. And I was about to give up searching anything else on this island. There was no hope left in sight here. And I think it's time to start making our way back over to where we came from. There was nothing really of note on the way back. I did stop to take a look at the shipwreck. That was pretty cool. And continued on my way. I was thinking my foot wrappings would be getting ruined soon, and I thought I would make some new foot wrappings just so that I'd be ready when my feet start bleeding again so that I could switch quickly. Here's a little fun tip. I was full, and in order to stuff those foot wrappings into my backpack, I had to trade out an item of equal size, and wouldn't you know it, I decided that that little can of mystery meat was looking like a perfect exchange. Also, I ate it. What could possibly go wrong? Oh my, oh DayZ God, I swear I'll never eat the mystery meat again. I swear I'll never eat the mystery meat again. Well, I said it was a game of decisions. And, well, this was my decision. So, we're faced with a little bit of an issue here. However, I'm a pro, so it's no issue. When you're faced with vomiting or any kind of sickness that causes you to throw up, you first want to keep an eye on your food and your water. Obviously, you're throwing up, it's going to take away your food and your water. You want to keep an eye on your temperature, because if you actually are sick with something such as like a flu bug or whatever that causes a fever, that's going to cause other issues as well. In this case, I just ate the bad food. I committed the sin. I'm a dum-dum. However, the easy way to fix it is to just slowly take drinks of water, and slowly, maybe if you're low on food, if it goes like your hunger starts dropping, you just want to do one drink or one bite. And that doesn't mean one circle or one it means the sound. When you hear crunch, you stop. When you hear gloop, you stop. Like, it's just one little sliver, just enough to make the bar start going up and not drop. And you basically do that until you find yourself in a happier state. So, basically, I made a bad decision. Or, well, I made one of the decisions ever made. And here we are. So, as you can see, a little bit of multivitamin, a little bit of water. Symbol goes away. I'm right as rain. A little bit of sore throat. Nothing you can't handle. In fact, we're just in time to enjoy that brand new skybox. Look at that Milky Way. It's beautiful. Anyway, on to the adventure. And like an 8-year-old running away from home for the first time, we spent the night in our tree fort before heading back out. And we checked in on our old buddy Solaire, looked in this room we forgot about, where we found ourselves a nice little functional, fashionable medieval coif. Met up with some locals, they were kind of dicks, treated our wounds from that, and what else is there to do now but get back to the old swimmy swim. I hate swimming. Absolutely hate it. It's slow, it's boring, there's no point in it. It only hurts you. You get wet, you get cold, you gotta dry off and do all that shit. People can kill you in the water very easily, and there's nowhere you need to get to or go to that really requires much swimming that's worth it, as you could see from the last, 20 minutes or so. Finally, after swimming across the damned English Channel here, we're faced with some decisions. One of those is a typical DayZ decision, and that is, do I go check out this lighthouse that I know is over here, and it might have a chance of having what I need? So far, I'm starting to feel like this entire day was a waste, much like yesterday's 6-hour adventure to find a little bit of food just to get home. Today's several-hour adventure has turned up with not much more than we started with. And sometimes, though, in DayZ, you just gotta go for it, because every time you don't look for something, you won't find it. It's a cliche. This is where the philosophy time comes in. When it comes to DayZ, it's always this balance, this juggle of, if I don't look for something in that building over there, if I go over there, I could find this. But if I don't go over there, what if it was there? What if it was missing something that I actually needed and wanted, and it could have saved my life? So you always got to be, balancing that. Do I go here or do I go there? And in this case, I went there. And I did find some duct tape, which is quite useful, to be honest, but I had no room for it. So I dropped the bolts that I picked up, because it's pretty unlikely I'm going to find a crossbow anytime soon, and took the duct tape instead. But just like last time, fuck these stupid fucking lighthouses. They're not worth climbing up. Why are we even going up lighthouses we know it takes for fucking ever? Oh, holy shit. It was all worth it. Everything has led up to this moment. We finally got shoes. Here we are. Let's go, baby. This is what we came here for. Fuck, let's go. Or whatever they say these days. Of course, DayZ being the troll that it is, there are no victories without defeats. And my bag got zorped on top of the car and I can't retrieve it, so I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes trying to get that back. Turns out that I wasn't a foot and a half off the ground before I tried to retrieve it. That's on me, guys. And with new shoes in hand, that's right, in hand, because I decided why waste those rag shoes when I could just use them up until they're gone, and then use my shoes. So, DayZ, once again, a game of decisions and balancing and using resources wisely. Otherwise, let's just go back home and we went and explored a new island. Spent a good, 4 hours, I would say. Well, I spent a good 4 hours searching for a shovel. And, well, we didn't find it, did we? And I just don't feel good about myself ending my day without succeeding in my mission. So I think I'm going to unpack all this shit and look at the map and check out some other areas that might be profitable and nearby. We got to get a shovel so we can make a wall. And let me retract. Normally, I wouldn't make any of the decisions I've made so far. Typically, your decision making is based off of different factors. One of those being that somebody is always stealing the loot you need or about to kill you and take your loot. So I don't have to worry about that right now. I just have to worry about surviving. And I've been collecting a lot of bits and pieces here and there that will help me in the future, but not a lot that's going to help me now. And I decided to build a wall and fortify a building, which is, like I've said before, pretty late game stuff. I should have my ducks in a row, but being the professional that I am, I ain't worried about any of that. So I'm going to go ahead and look for another place to look for shovels and try and at least end this day with some goal achieved, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I can't lie. I spent another hour and a half dicking around town and just trying to find a lucky shovel, and then organizing my entire inventory into 2 more tents and getting a barrel. And then I remembered I wanted to look at the map. So let's see if there's another place nearby we could check out. I'm pretty sure we can find something. We could go back to the town we went to before. It was very small and we've already been there. And I think I want to try something a little bit different. So there's a little place up north, almost straight up north, and that looks kind of promising. So I think we're gonna head over there and see if we can't get ourselves lucky. And there she is right there, Mikta, whatever you want to call that. It's almost directly north of that castle that's near us. So we actually get a double bonus. We can hit the town and then hit the castle on the way back, or vice versa, or both. By the time we hit the castle, then get to the town, and then get back to the castle, the loot there may have respawned. So it's actually a pretty profitable trip, potentially. However, it's pouring down rain, and I don't think I want to mess with that today. So maybe this sounds like a trip for day number 3. So once again, thank you for joining me on this Hitchhiker's Guide, this survivor's journey, this solo run through the world of DayZ and Chernarus, and just surviving, thriving, vibing, you know? Thanks for joining me, as always. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.